All right, I want to make this video because I've gotten a lot of messages recently from parents saying, we have put so much effort into this process. We've done so much work. We've sent so many emails and made so many videos, so many social media posts, and we're not seeing the results that we want to see, and we don't understand why. And I need you to understand something. And it's not necessarily the nicest thing for me to say. It's not going to be the easiest thing for you to hear, but it's absolutely critical if you want interest in offers in college recruiting. And that is that the college recruiting process does not care how much work or effort you put into it. It does not care. It only cares that your kid is good enough to play in college and that they market themselves well enough to college coaches. That's the only thing that matters. So when you have two families, right? You got this family over here on the left side, and let's say they've sent a ridiculous amount of emails to college coaches, like 10,000, right? Then on the right side, you have family number two. And family number two, this is family one, and this is family two. Family two has only sent about 30, okay? Now, first of all, let's just state the obvious. Family one is way more likely to get results than family two, right? They are. They're way more likely simply because they're probably getting way more exposure than family two, simply because of the quantity of messages that they are sending. But here's what you have to understand. If player number two is more talented than player number one, and in these 30, there's at least a couple of them who need their position in grad class, it is entirely possible that this family on the right side gets better results than this family on the left side. It's not just about quantity and workload. You only judge progress in college recruiting based on the results that you're getting, not based on the work that you're putting in. I'll give you an example. Here's the timeline in the recruiting process. This is when you first start and you have nothing. This is where you're 100% of the way through the process and you have a scholarship offer or 2 or 10, right? So in order to move closer to this marker here, it's not about the amount of work that you've put in. It's not that if you send 100 emails, you're this far in. And if you've sent 500 emails, you're this far in. That's not how you judge progress in recruiting. How you actually judge progress is you say, well, we got 5 schools that responded and are interested here. And then by the time we get about halfway through the process, this number, maybe it's increased, right? Maybe it's like 10. And then out of those 10, maybe like 4 of them are truly interested. Or maybe you stick at 5 and you never get past that. But of those 5, maybe 3 of them are truly interested. So guess what? You're actually making progress because these are the results that you're looking for. And then as you continue to get down the line, it could be that there's 2 schools at the end who give you scholarship money that you can choose between. That's what actual progress looks like. You don't judge it based on the amount of work that you're doing. Now, to be fair, the more work that you do, the more likely you are to get the results that you're looking for. But I see this happen with families all the time where they say, yeah, we've just put so much work into this. I don't know that it makes sense, to get help, or I don't know that it makes sense to try this other thing. Okay, but you're not actually gauging the process and your progress on what actually determines progress, which is results. It's not about the work that you do. Again, let's say a family sends 100 emails and one family sends 500. Let's say family 1 gets 10 responses. Family 2 gets 5 responses. Which situation would you rather be in? Would you rather have 10 interested schools or 5 interested schools? Of course, 10, right? So guess what doesn't matter? How many you sent. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the actual progress that you are making. You must evaluate your own process based on the results that you're getting. Now, there are so many different factors that go into this. Workload would be one of them, right? Work is in fact one of them. The more work that you do, the more likely it is that you are going to get the results that you're looking for. But it's not just the quantity, it's also the quality of that work. I don't care that you send 10,000 emails if they suck. If your video sucks, if your messaging sucks. Sorry to be crass, but like, there's so many families that just don't seem to understand this. Quantity doesn't matter. Will it improve your odds? Yes. Is it the end all be all? No. Quality matters. Talent matters, right? How good your kid is. Expectations matter, right? Because even if your kid is talented, if you're expecting results above their talent, then you're probably not going to get the results that you're looking for. Even stuff like timing matters, right? Maybe you're contacting the right schools. Maybe your kid is talented enough. Maybe the quality of the work is good. Maybe you're doing it in high quantity, but the timing is off. And you just need to contact them again in 3 to 4 months or something like that, right? But the point is that it's not just about the amount of work that you do. It's also about the quality of that work and your kid's talent and the expectations that you have and the timing in the process. And so all I'm asking you, this is really what this video is about. What are you, and I'm not going to type that out, it's going to take way too long. How are you gauging progress? That's what this video is all about. Now, if you're early, right, and you just started doing work, then yeah, you can't expect to get, 20 interested schools in 4 weeks, right? It's probably going to take longer than that. So in the beginning, you might be gauging progress on some of these other factors here, right? In terms of like the quantity of work and the quality of work. But eventually, once you start getting into 3, 4, 5 months of your work, you should be gauging progress based on results. Based on results. How many schools are you actually talking to? How meaningful is that dialogue? How are you progressing those relationships? See this so many times. Families will be like, yeah, we've done, a whole bunch of work. We've sent, 1,000 emails. And we've gotten 20 responses from schools that say that they're interested. That was about 4 months ago, right? Something like that. And then I ask them and I say, well, how many of those schools are you still talking to? And they're like, well, 2 of them. Okay, then guess what? This 20 number doesn't matter anymore. You're talking to 2 schools. The question is, do you feel comfortable talking to that many schools? If not, then you need to do something different. Regardless of whether this number is 1,000 or 10,000 or freaking 100,000, it doesn't matter because you're 4 to 6 months into the process. You should be judging it based on results. And again, results are just not going to show up for every single person. Your kid might not be that talented. Your expectations might be off. Right? Maybe the timing is bad. There's lots of things that could be going on there. Not everybody in recruiting is going to see results. 7% of high school athletes go on to play in college. 2% earn scholarships. Guess what that means? More than 90% of people will fail. That's what that means. Okay? So here's my point. Okay? To hammer this home. And I know that I've been kind of rough in saying this. If you're new around here, it's just kind of my personality. I want you to succeed. I want the best for you and your family. But the reality is that once you hit a certain amount of time in the process, usually about 4 to 6 months, you should be judging all of your progress on results. And if you have sent 10,000 emails, right, you've done just an incredible amount of work. I commend you. There's a lot of people who haven't done that. But guess what? It doesn't matter. The recruiting process does not care. It's not the 10,000 hours rule, where as long as you put 10,000 hours into something, you're going to get the results that you want to see. This is not how recruiting works. You have to have this stuff dialed in. And so even if you have put this much time, effort, and energy into the process. If you are not seeing the results that you want to see, then you have to go back to square one and dial in the quantity, the quality, which this, you might say, well, we've already done that. Fine. But there's 4 other pieces here that have to be dialed in, and there's probably more. These are just the ones that I have off the top of my head. But the point is that you have to go back to square zero and start over again, because this didn't work for you. And so it's really hard to hear, but you have to hear it if you want to get the results that you're looking for in the recruiting process. So I hope it's okay that I just tell you like it is. If not, totally cool. Lots of other people in recruiting who will tell you what you want to hear. But the reality is that this is how recruiting actually works, and it doesn't care how much time and effort you put into the process. So make sure that you are gauging your progress on results, not on the amount of work that you've put in. All right, if you're the parent of a high school athlete and you're struggling in the process, maybe you've sent 10,000 emails and you're like, didn't work for us. We don't have the results we're looking for. You can click the link in the description and you can schedule a call with our team. We'll walk you through our program and how we help families. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video.